lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. And over the next 1 hour, we get you all the updates that you need to be aware of from the world and, of course, the country. First up, of course, the country is gearing up to celebrate 77th Independence Day tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be making his address to the nation from Red Fort at about 7:30 a.m. The Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebration, started in 2021, will come to a head with this year's Independence Day. Upon his arrival at the Red Fort, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will proceed to inspect the Guard of Honour, and then he will move to the ramparts of Red Fort, where he will unfurl the national flag. Before that, though, this evening we are awaiting the President's address, which should begin anytime soon. As always, there will be special invitees at the Red Fort for Independence Day parade and speech. This year, as many as 1,800 guests are expected. Let me take you through some of those guests that are expected, especially the special invitees. So we've got as many as 400 sarpanches who will be joining the Independence Day celebrations, and these will come from as many as 660 villages. There are also 50 construction workers who have worked on the newly unveiled Central Vista project who will be part of the celebrations tomorrow at Red Fort. 250 beneficiaries of Farmer Producer Organization scheme, which provides support to small farmers with end-to-end services governing almost all aspects of cultivation, from inputs, technical services to processing and marketing. There are also going to be 50 beneficiaries from the Kisan Samman Nidhi, one of the flagship schemes of the Narendra Modi government from this term. Also the Kaushal Vikas scheme. There are also going to be 50 Karm Yogis from Border Roads Organization that will be a part of the Independence Day celebrations. 1,800 guests in total, but many of them being special invitees, which has also become a hallmark of the Narendra Modi government style of functioning. There's also going to be 50 primary school teachers, fishermen and nurses who are part of the special invitees, and also 75 couples from every state and union territory in their traditional attire have been invited to witness the ceremony. Let's also take a look at a special report as far as celebrations from across the country are concerned.
Multiple programs are being organized ahead of Independence Day celebrations, and behind me you can see my VJ Bashir will show you that hundreds of students have gathered here who formed India right here at this cricket stadium in Srinagar. There were also people who were sitting in the gallery to witness this event. Cultural show was also organized.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, देश के 77वें स्वतंत्रता दिवस पर आप सभी को मेरी हार्दिक बधाई। ये दिन हम सब के लिए गौरवपूर्ण और पावन है। चारों ओर उत्सव का वातावरण देखकर मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। ये प्रसन्नता और गौरव की बात है कि कस्बों और गांव में यानी देश में हर जगह बच्चे, युवा और बुजुर्ग सभी उत्साह के साथ स्वतंत्रता दिवस के पर्व को मनाने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। हमारे देशवासी बड़े उत्साह के साथ आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं। स्वाधीनता दिवस का उत्सव मुझे मेरे बचपन के दिनों की याद भी दिलाता है। अपने गांव के स्कूल में स्वतंत्रता दिवस समारोह में भाग लेने की हमारी खुशी रोके नहीं रुकती थी। जब त्रिरंगा फहराया जाता था तो हमें लगता था जैसे हमारी शरीर में बिजली सी दौड़ गई हो। देशभक्ति के गौरव से भरे हुए हृदय के साथ हम सब राष्ट्रीय ध्वज को सलामी देते थे तथा राष्ट्रगान गाते थे। मिठाइयाँ बांटी जाती थी और देशभक्ति के गीत गाए जाते थे जो कई दिनों तक हमारी मन में गूंजते रहते थे। ये मेरा सौभाग्य रहा है कि जब मैं स्कूल में शिक्षक बनी तो मुझे उन अनुभवों को फिर से जीने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ। जब हम बड़े होते हैं तो हम अपने खुशी को बच्चों की तरह व्यक्त नहीं कर पाते, लेकिन मुझे विश्वास है कि राष्ट्रीय पर्व से जुड़े देशभक्ति की गहरी भावना में तनिक भी कमी नहीं आती है। स्वतंत्रता दिवस हमें ये याद दिलाता है कि हम केवल एक व्यक्ति ही नहीं है, बल्कि हम एक ऐसे महान जन समुदाय का हिस्सा है जो अपनी तरह का सबसे बड़ा और जीवंत समुदाय है। ये विश्व के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र के नागरिकों का समुदाय है। जब हम स्वतंत्रता दिवस समारोह मनाते हैं तो वास्तव में हम एक महान लोकतंत्र के नागरिक होने का उत्सव भी मनाते हैं। हमें हर एक की अलग अलग पहचान है। जाति, पंथ, भाषा और क्षेत्र के अलावा हमारी अपने परिवार और कार्य क्षेत्र से जुड़े पहचान भी होती है, लेकिन हमारी एक पहचान ऐसे है जो इन सब से ऊपर है, और हमारी वो पहचान है भारत का नागरिक होना। हम सभी समान रूप से इस महान देश के नागरिक हैं। हम सबको समान अवसर और अधिकार उपलब्ध है तथा हमारे कर्तव्य भी समान है, लेकिन ऐसा हमेशा नहीं था। भारत लोकतंत्र की जननी है और प्राचीन काल में भी हमारे यहाँ जमीनी स्तर पर लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाएं विद्यमान थी, किंतु लंबे समय तक चले उपनिवेशिक शासन ने उन लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं को मिटा दिया था। 15 अगस्त 1947 के दिन देश ने एक नया सपेरा देखा। उस दिन हमने विदेशी शासन से तो आज़ादी हासिल की है, हमने अपनी नियति का निर्माण करने की स्वतंत्रता भी प्राप्त की। हमारी स्वाधीनता के साथ विदेशी शासकों द्वारा उपनिवेशों को छोड़ने का दौर शुरू हुआ और उपनिवेशवाद समाप्त होने लगा। हमारे द्वारा स्वाधीनता के लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करना तो महत्वपूर्ण था ही, लेकिन उससे भी अधिक उल्लेखनीय है हमारे स्वाधीनता संग्राम का अनोखा तरीका। महात्मा गांधी तथा अनेक असाधारण एवं दूरदर्शी विभूतियों के नेतृत्व में हमारा राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन अद्वितीय आदर्श से अनुप्राणित था। गांधी जी तथा अन्य महानायकों ने भारत की आत्मा को फिर से जगाया और हमारी महान सभ्यता के मूल्यों का जन जन में संचार किया। भारत के ज्वलंत उदाहरण का अनुसरण करते हुए हमारे स्वाधीनता संग्राम की आधारशिला सत्य और अहिंसा को पूरी दुनिया के अनेक राजनीतिक संघर्षों में सफलतापूर्वक अपनाया गया है। स्वतंत्रता दिवस की पूर्व संध्या पर मैं भारत के नागरिकों के साथ एकजुट होकर सभी ज्ञात और अज्ञात स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों को कृतज्ञतापूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करती हूँ। उनके असंख्य बलिदानों से भारत ने विश्व समुदाय में अपना स्वाभिमानपूर्ण स्थान फिर से प्राप्त किया। मातंगिनी हाजरा और कनकलता बरुआ जैसे वीरांगनाओं ने भारत माता के लिए अपने प्राण निछावर कर दिया। माँ कस्तूरबा राष्ट्रपिता महात्मा गांधी के साथ कदम से कदम मिलाकर सत्याग्रह के मार्ग पर चलती रही। सरोजिनी नायडू, अमू स्वामीनाथन, रमा देवी, अरुणा आसफ अली और सुचेता कृपलानी जैसे अनेक महिला विभूतियों ने अपने बाद की सभी पीढ़ियों की महिलाओं के लिए आत्मविश्वास के साथ देश तथा समाज की सेवा करने के प्रेरक आदर्श प्रस्तुत किए हैं। आज महिलाएं विकास और देश सेवा के हर क्षेत्र में बढ़ चढ़कर योगदान दे रही हैं तथा राष्ट्र का गौरव बढ़ा रहे हैं। आज हमारी महिलाओं ने ऐसे अनेक क्षेत्रों में अपना विशेष स्थान बना लिया है जिनमें कुछ दशकों को पहले उनकी भागीदारी की कल्पना भी नहीं की जा सकती थी। मुझे ये देखकर प्रसन्नता होती है कि हमारे देश में महिलाओं के आर्थिक सशक्तिकरण पर विशेष ध्यान दिया जा रहा है। आर्थिक सशक्तिकरण से परिवार और समाज में महिलाओं की स्थिति मजबूत होती है। मैं सभी देशवासियों से आग्रह करती हूँ कि वे महिला सशक्तिकरण को प्राथमिकता दें। मैं चाहूँगी कि हमारी बहनें और बेटियाँ साहस के साथ हर तरह की चुनौतियों का सामना करें और जीवन में आगे बढ़ें। महिलाओं का विकास स्वाधीनता संग्राम के आदर्श में शामिल है। प्यारे देशवासियों, स्वतंत्रता दिवस हमारे लिए अपने इतिहास से पुनः जुड़ने का अवसर होता है। ये हमारे वर्तमान का आकलन करने और भविष्य की राह बनाने के बारे में चिंतन करने का अवसर भी है। आज हम देख रहे हैं कि भारत ने न केवल विश्व मंच पर अपना यथाचित स्थान बनाया है, बल्कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यवस्था में अपनी प्रतिष्ठा को बढ़ाया भी है। अपनी यात्राओं और प्रवासी भारतीयों के साथ बातचीत के दौरान मैंने अपने देश के प्रति उनमें एक नया विश्वास तथा गौरव का भाव देखा है। भारत पूरी दुनिया में विकास के लक्ष्यों और मानवीय सहयोग को बढ़ावा देने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहा है। भारत ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर अग्रणी स्थान बनाया है तथा G20 देशों की अध्यक्षता का दायित्व भी संभाला है। चूँकि G20 समूह दुनिया की 2/3 जनसंख्या का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है, इसीलिए ये हमारे लिए वैश्विक प्राथमिकताओं को सही दिशा में ले जाने का एक अद्वितीय अवसर है। G20 की अध्यक्षता के माध्यम से भारत व्यापार और वित्त के क्षेत्र में हो रही निर्णयों को न्याय संगत प्रगति की ओर ले जाने में प्रयासरत है। व्यापार और वित्त के अलावा मानव विकास से जुड़े विषय भी कार्यसूची में शामिल किए गए हैं। ऐसे कई मुद्दे जो पूरे मानवता के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है और किसी भौगोलिक सीमा से बंधे हुए नहीं है। मुझे विश्वास है कि भारत के प्रभावी नेतृत्व के साथ G20 के सदस्य देश उन मोर्चों पर उपयोगी कार्रवाई को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। भारत की G20 की अध्यक्षता में एक नई बात यह है कि डिप्लोमेसी को जमीन से जोड़ा गया है। एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय राजनयिक गतिविधि में लोगों की भागीदारी को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए अपनी तरह का पहला अभियान चलाया गया है। उदाहरण के लिए ये देखकर मुझे अच्छा लगा कि स्कूलों और कॉलेजों में G20 से जुड़े विषयों पर आयोजित की जा रही गतिविधियों में विद्यार्थी उत्साहपूर्वक भाग ले रहे हैं। G20 से जुड़े कार्यक्रम के बारे में सभी नागरिकों में बहुत उत्साह देखने को मिल रहा है। प्यारे देशवासियों, सशक्तिकरण की भावना से युक्त इस उत्साह का संचार आज संभव हो पाया है क्योंकि हमारा देश सभी मोर्चों पर अच्छी प्रगति कर रही है। मुश्किल दौर में भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था न केवल समर्थ सिद्ध हुई है बल्कि दूसरों के लिए आशा का स्रोत भी बनी है। विश्व की अधिकांश अर्थव्यवस्थाएं नाजुक दौर से गुजर रही है। वैश्विक महामारी के कारण हुई आर्थिक संकट से विश्व समुदाय पूरी तरह बाहर नहीं आ पाया था कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पटल पर हो रही घटनाओं से अनिश्चितता का वातावरण और गंभीर हो गया है। फिर भी सरकार कठिन परिस्थितियों का अच्छी तरह सामना करने में सक्षम रही है। देश ने चुनौतियों को अवसरों में बदला है और प्रभावशाली GDP ग्रोथ भी दर्ज की है। हमारे अन्नदाता किसानों ने हमारी आर्थिक वृद्धि में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया है। राष्ट्र उनका ऋणी है। वैश्विक स्तर पर मुद्रास्फीति यानी इन्फ्लेशन चिंता का कारण बनी हुई है, लेकिन सरकार और रिजर्व बैंक इस पर काबू पाने में सफल रही है। सरकार ने जनसामान्य पर मुद्रास्फीति का अधिक प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने दिया है और साथ ही गरीबों को व्यापक सुरक्षा कवच भी प्रदान किया है। वैश्विक आर्थिक विकास के लिए दुनिया की निगाहें आज भारत पर टिकी हुई है। आज भारत विश्व की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बन गया है। विश्व में सबसे तेजी से बढ़ रही बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था के रूप में भारत विश्व की 3री सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनने की ओर अग्रसर है। हमारी आर्थिक प्रगति की इस यात्रा में समावेशी विकास पर जोर दिया जा रहा है। निरंतर हो रही आर्थिक प्रगति के 2 प्रमुख आयाम हैं। एक और व्यवसाय करना आसान बनाकर और रोजगार के अवसर पैदा करके उद्यमशीलता की संस्कृति को बढ़ावा दिया जा रहा है। दूसरे ओर जरूरतमंदों की सहायता के लिए विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में पहल की गई है तथा व्यापक स्तर पर कल्याणकारी कार्यक्रम चलाया जा रहे हैं। वंचितों को वरीयता प्रदान करना हमारी नीतियों और कार्य के केंद्र में रहता है। परिणाम स्वरूप पिछले दशक में बड़ी संख्या में लोगों को गरीबी से बाहर निकलना संभव हो पाया है। इसी प्रकार आदिवासियों की स्थिति में सुधार लाने और उन्हें प्रगति की यात्रा में शामिल करने हेतु विशेष कार्यक्रम चलाया जा रहा है। मैं अपने आदिवासी भाई बहनों से अपील करती हूँ कि आप सब अपने परंपराओं को समृद्ध करते हुए आधुनिकता को अपनाएं। मुझे ये जानकर खुशी हुई है कि आर्थिक विकास के साथ साथ मानव विकास संबंधी सरकारों को भी उच्च प्राथमिकता दी जा रही है। मैं एक शिक्षक रही हूँ, इस नाते भी मैंने ये समझा है कि शिक्षा सामाजिक सशक्तिकरण का सबसे प्रभावी माध्यम है। वर्ष 2020 की राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति से बदलाव आना शुरू हो गया है। विभिन्न स्तरों पर विद्यार्थियों और शिक्षाविदों के साथ मेरी बातचीत से मुझे ज्ञात हुआ है कि अध्ययन की प्रक्रिया अधिक फ्लेक्सिबल हो गया है। इस दूरदर्शी नीति का एक प्रमुख उद्देश्य प्राचीन मूल्यों को आधुनिक कौशल के साथ जोड़ना है। इससे आने वाले वर्षों में शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में अभूतपूर्व परिवर्तन होंगे और परिणाम स्वरूप देश में एक बहुत बड़ा बदलाव दिखाई देगा। भारत की प्रगति को देशवासियों विशेषकर युवा पीढ़ी के सपनों से शक्ति मिलती है। विकास के अनंत संभावनाएं देशवासियों की प्रतीक्षा कर रही है। स्टार्टअप से लेकर खेलकूद तक हमारे युवाओं ने उत्कृष्टता के नई आसमानों की उड़ान भरी है। आज के नए भारत की महत्वाकांक्षाओं के नई क्षितिज असीम है। भारतीय अंतरिक्ष अनुसंधान संगठन नई ऊंचाई को छू रहा है और उत्कृष्टता के नए आयाम स्थापित कर रहा है। इस वर्ष इसरो ने चंद्रयान 3 लॉन्च किया है, जो चंद्रमा की कक्षा में प्रवेश कर चुका है और कार्यक्रम के अनुसार उसका विक्रम नामक लैंडर तथा प्रज्ञान नामक रोवर अगले कुछ ही दिनों में चंद्रमा पर उतरेगा। हम सभी के लिए वो गौरव का क्षण होगा और मुझे भी उस पल का इंतजार है। चंद्रमा का अभियान अंतरिक्ष के हमारे भावी कार्यक्रम के लिए केवल एक सीढ़ी है। हमें बहुत आगे जाना है। अंतरिक्ष अभियान में ही नहीं बल्कि धरती पर भी हमारे वैज्ञानिक और टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट देश का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं। अनुसंधान, नवाचार तथा उद्यमशीलता को बढ़ावा देने के लिए अगले 5 वर्षों में 50,000 करोड़ रुपये की राशि के साथ सरकार द्वारा अनुसंधान नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन स्थापित किया जा रहा है। ये फाउंडेशन हमारी कॉलेजों, विश्वविद्यालयों और अनुसंधान केंद्रों में रिसर्च एवं डेवलपमेंट को आधार प्रदान करेगा, उन्हें विकसित करेगा तथा आगे ले जाएगा। प्यारे देशवासियों, ज्ञान विज्ञान में उत्कृष्टता प्राप्त करना ही हमारा लक्ष्य नहीं है, बल्कि हमारे लिए ये मानवता के विकास के साधन है। एक क्षेत्र जिस पर पूरे विश्व के वैज्ञानिकों और नीति निर्माताओं को और अधिक तत्परता से ध्यान देना चाहिए, वो है जलवायु परिवर्तन। हाल के वर्षों में बड़ी संख्या में एक्सट्रीम वेदर इवेंट्स हुई है। देश के कुछ हिस्सों में असाधारण बाढ़ का सामना करना पड़ा है। कुछ स्थान सूखे की मार झेलते हैं। इन सब का एक प्रमुख कारण ग्लोबल वार्मिंग को भी माना जाता है। अतः पर्यावरण के हित में स्थानीय, राष्ट्रीय तथा वैश्विक स्तर पर प्रयास करना अनिवार्य है। इस संदर्भ में ये उल्लेखनीय है कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के क्षेत्र में हमने अभूतपूर्व लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त किया है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सौर ऊर्जा अभियान को भारत ने नेतृत्व प्रदान किया है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय प्रतिबद्धताओं को पूरा करने में हमारा देश अग्रणी भूमिका निभा रहा है। विश्व समुदाय को हमने लाइफ यानी लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरनमेंट का मंत्र दिया है। प्यारे देशवासियों, असामान्य मौसम की घटनाएं सभी पर असर डालती है, लेकिन गरीब और वंचित वर्गों के लोगों पर उनका और अधिक प्रभाव पड़ता है। शहरों और पहाड़ों क्षेत्रों के जलवायु परिवर्तन की स्थितियों का सामना करने के लिए विशेष रूप से सक्षम बनाने की आवश्यकता है। मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि लोभ की संस्कृति दुनिया को प्रकृति से दूर करती है और अब हमें ये एहसास हो रही है कि हमें अपनी जड़ों की ओर लौटना चाहिए। आज भी अनेक जनजातीय समुदाय ऐसे हैं जो प्रकृति के बहुत करीब और प्रकृति के साथ सौहार्द बनाकर रहते हैं। उनके जीवन मूल्यों और जीवन शैली क्लाइमेट एक्शन के क्षेत्र में अमूल्य शिक्षा प्रदान करते हैं। जनजातीय समुदायों द्वारा युगों से अपना अस्तित्व बनाए रखने के रहस्यों को एक शब्द में ही व्यक्त किया जा सकता है और शब्द है हमदर्दी। जनजातीय समुदाय के लोग प्रकृति को माता समझते हैं तथा उसकी सभी संतानों अर्थात वनस्पतियों और जीव जंतुओं के प्रति सहानुभूति रखते हैं। कभी कभी दुनिया में हमदर्दी की कमी महसूस होती है, लेकिन इतिहास साक्षी है कि ऐसे दौर केवल कुछ समय के लिए ही आते हैं, क्योंकि करुणा हमारा मूल स्वभाव है। मेरा अनुभव है कि महिलाएं हमदर्दी के महत्व को और अधिक गहराई से महसूस करती है और जब मानवता अपनी राह से भटकती है तो वे सही रास्ता दिखाती है। हमारे देश ने नई संकल्पों के साथ अमृत काल में प्रवेश किया है तथा हमें भारत का वर्ष 2047 तक एक विकसित राष्ट्र बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। आइए हम सभी अपने संवैधानिक मूल कर्तव्यों को निभाने का संकल्प लें तथा व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक गतिविधियों के सभी क्षेत्र में उत्कृष्ट की ओर आगे बढ़ने का सतत प्रयास करें, ताकि हमारा देश निरंतर उन्नति करते हुए कर्मठता तथा उपलब्धियों की नई ऊंचाइयां हासिल करे। प्यारे देशवासियों, हमारा संविधान हमारा मार्गदर्शक दस्तावेज है। संविधान की प्रस्तावना में हमारे स्वाधीनता संग्राम के आदर्श समाहित है। आइए हम अपने राष्ट्र निर्माताओं के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए सद्भाव और भाईचारे की भावना के साथ आगे बढ़े। स्वतंत्रता दिवस की पूर्व संध्या पर मैं पुनः आप सबको विशेष रूप से सीमाओं की रक्षा करने वाले सेना के जवानों, अंतरिक्ष सुरक्षा प्रदान करने वाले सभी बलों एवं पुलिस के जवानों तथा दुनिया के विभिन्न हिस्सों में रहने वाले प्रवासी भारतीयों को बधाई देती हूँ। सभी प्यारे देशवासियों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
That was the president's speech. Over to our top focus today. It seems abuse politics is back. A row has erupted after Congress General Secretary Randeep Surjewala used demeaning words against not just the ruling BJP and its leaders, but also its supporters or voters. While addressing Congress's Jan Akrosh rally at Haryana's Kaithal, Surjewala referred to BJP and JJP, their alliance partners, as Rakshas, but didn't stop there. He even termed those who vote for the BJP Rakshas. Now, this goes against all norms of political messaging, where you criticize your opponents, but not the voters who vote for them. After all, if a party aims to pry away voters from another party to itself, it can hardly hope to do so by condemning those voters. But this has become a trend of sorts, where anyone who supports the BJP or votes for them is condemned as fascist, communal, or whatnot. Surjewala's comment has sparked a mega controversy, and the video clip of the speech is now viral on social media. The BJP has lashed out, calling this statement desperate. But Surjewala showed defiance and actually in turn called them asuras or demons. Now, in the past, attacks against Prime Minister Narendra Modi have backfired for the Congress and the opposition. Will this comment backfire too? That's a question we'll take to our guests in just a bit. But let me just break down for those who may not be aware of exactly what Randeep Surjewala has said. Take a look at the statements that have been made by the Congress leader, and he is not a nondescript leader of the Congress party. He is, of course, their general secretary. So he first took the Raakshas jibe at the BJP and the JJP, saying that the BJP and JJP leaders are like Rakshas. Then later on X, Surjewala wrote that the one who doesn't love people is an asur. This was also a jibe after he was criticized for his previous statement. Surjewala stated in Kaithal that BJP voters and supporters are also Rakshas. On X, he then wrote that BJP-JJP behaved like an asur with Dalits. Furthermore, Surjewala had said at the Jan Akrosh rally that I curse them from this land of Mahabharat, referring to, of course, where he was speaking from. And on the social media platform later, he slammed the ruling party BJP and wrote that their actions are demonic in nature. So the big debate that's coming up with our guests, will Randeep Surjewala's Rakshas jibe, abusing the voters, those who vote for the BJP, their political opponents, backfire or not?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो वोट देता है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो समर्थक है वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति का व्यक्ति है। मैं आज महाभारत की इस धरती से श्राप देता हूं।
राक्षस प्रवृत्ति के परिवार में जन्मा ये व्यक्ति ही सोच सकता है कि इस प्रकार का अभद्र भाषा बोलना, ये मैं समझता हूँ असंसदीय भाषा है।
क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट देने वाले करोड़ों करोड़ लोग राक्षस हैं? सोनिया जी, राहुल जी, आप क्या मानते हैं? क्या आप सारी जनता को राक्षस मानते हैं?
Joining me on the show, Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP, Mahima Singh of the Congress party. With me also is Tushar Gupta, editor, Swarajya magazine. I'm awaiting Suman C. Raman, who's set to join us in just a bit. Mahima, why don't I begin with you? How does the Congress party justify an attack on the voters itself? You look at examples not just from the country but across the world. Politicians will never attack the voters for making their franchise. They may be convinced to not vote for the party that they vote for. But during election period, how are you going to endear yourself to any voter if you condemn them for their choices?
Jai Hind. Let me begin by citing the three I's of the politics that drive the political discourse, Shivani: ideology, issues and individual. And for the Congress party, ideology always prevails over the individual. And our ideology is one of love. While Mr. Surjewala's statement might not be, he might not have chosen the best inappropriate, he might not have chosen the most appropriate words. He resonated with the sentiment owing to what has been going on in Haryana over the past almost 2 weeks, because it is at the behest of the BJP that the green state of Haryana, the most peaceful state of Haryana, has been blood-ridden, and every Haryani's heart cries out for those who have been killed at the behest of the BJP's political.
Mahima, before I go to our other guests, I found it interesting you're saying that Mr. Surjewala may not have chosen the most appropriate words. But when he was pointed this out, that this is not right to call the voters Rakshas, he hit back with an Asura jibe. instead of, let's say, saying that I don't mean this for the voters or I could have chosen a better word, why not show the humility that the Congress party talks about and say I retract my sentence or my words and instead issue a different statement?
As I already said, ideology prevails over individual, and issues are at the core of the Congress party's ideology. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi has already spoken about Mohabbat ki Dukaan, that's what we propagate. Mr. Surjewala, when he spoke there, he might have been taken over and carried away with the anguish and anxiety of the people present over there.
Mahima ji, if a leader, if a spokesperson gets carried away, it's their duty to then clarify and maybe retract that statement.
I would appreciate, Shivani, if you allowed me to complete my thought. In his tweet today, on his post on X today, he has written that only those with communal mindset will reduce the essence of a speech to the words. So I think he's justified it in his own way.
The essence is different and the words are different. But many critics would argue the words also matter when you're speaking in any language. But hold your thought, Mahima. Let me bring in Shehzad Punewala of the BJP as well. Rakshas, Asura, at least Rakshas term for those who support or vote for the BJP. Do you feel this will add fillip to you, the BJP in Haryana, where there are legitimate questions to be asked of the BJP government, but Mr. Surjewala, as has happened in the past, has given you material to hit back at the Congress party?
शिवानी नो कॉन्फिडेंस में हारे तो अब जनता को गाली गलौज के सहारे. And Mahima ji spoke about two eyes. Actually, she was speaking about one J, justification of the statement. She has come out and justified it. In fact, it is the ideology of Congress. First, they said Bharat Mata ki Hatya. Then they have abused Bharat ki Sena. Then they have abused Bharat ke Loktantra. Then they have questioned Bharat ke Loktantrik Sansthaen. Now that they have redeemed the EVM in Karnataka, they have started abusing the Janta because the Janta has shown no confidence in them. And look at the arrogance, elitism that is smacking in the statement made by Surjewala. He says, "Main shraap deta hu." Who are you to give shraap? Janta is like Devta in a democracy, but he feels Janta is devil. And who he adds G for? He adds G for Afzal Guru. Afzal Guru G hai, par Janta to Danav hai. Janta to demon hai. So Haryana people should remember whom he is adding G for and whom he is calling devil. And lastly, I would just like to say, Shivani, there's only one parallel in the entire world for such kind of statement, where Hillary Clinton had called the entire people of America who vote for Republicans as basket of deplorables.
Yes.
Today, the Congress party has said, because the Janta is showing no confidence in Rahul Gandhi, we will abuse OBC Samaj, we will abuse the PM post, and we will also abuse you. If the same Janta votes for Mahima Singh's party, Janta to Janardhan hai. And if the Janta says, no, we don't want to vote for you, then Janta ko gali denge ye log. इसीलिए मैं हरियाणा की जनता से कहता हूं कि देख लीजिए, ये लोग आपको गालियां देते हैं और ये अपने आप को नवाबशाही समझते हैं, ये अपने आप को बादशाह समझते हैं और आपको गालियां बकते हैं.
Mahima,
do allow me a response. Shivani, I wish to respond here. When the BJP spokesperson speaks, he forgets that the people of Haryana and India have seen Lakhimpur Kheri, where Ajay Mishra Teni is the union minister's son. How did he trample over the farmers' sons and farmers? We also know one Vivekanand who has brought a blot to the name of Vivekanand, their MLA's son, who shot at a tribal man. And we also remember how Haryana's CM...
Are you trying to now undermine Swami Vivekanand also, Mahima? Are you trying to undermine Swami Vivekanand? Why do you need to invoke the name of Swami Vivekanand and besmirch his legacy? After abusing the Janta, you are abusing Swami Vivekanand now?
Okay, one by one, please. Yes.
I waited
Mahima ji, I get your point. I get your point. Actions.
No, what is this controversial commentary on Swami Vivekanand?
No, she didn't comment on Swami Vivekanand.
First
she
they
just
abused
commented
Janta
on
and now they will
somebody
abuse
who's the
Swami
namesake
Vivekanand?
of Swami Vivekanand. Shehzad, one second. Shehzad, one
No, what
second.
is this? What is
Shehzad,
this
I'm going
hatred
to
for
give you the
everything
opportunity.
saffron?
No, I'll give you the opportunity. But okay, that's a fair question. What is the problem with anything saffron? But Mahima ji, hear my point. Mahima ji, I got your point, but hear my point. You're fair enough in bringing up those issues that may have happened in the past, where leaders associated with the BJP or of the BJP can be question over their actions. But it still doesn't justify calling the voter Rakshas, the same voter that you would hope to come towards your side. It's a limited point I am making. You've made your point. Let me give 30 seconds to Shehzad to respond to that, and Tushar will come in. Ma'am, one by one.
When the Haryana Chief Minister says, "सठे साठे हम समाचरित जैसे को तैसा करो, किसानों को लाठी मारो," that is Haryana CM speaking during the farmers' protest. So we know how the BJP operates.
Okay, but that still doesn't justify Mr. Surjewala's comment. If you oppose what the Haryana Chief Minister has said, then that means you don't agree with it, and then your leader shouldn't be doing the same. Anyways, I don't want to speak over you. Shehzad, 30 seconds, and I'll bring in Tushar Gupta as well.
Yes. Shivani, we were told that two eyes. The
Yes.
ideology is above individual. But here I am only seeing J, J and J. Justification, justification and shameless justification. आप तो मोदी जी के मरने की कामना वैसे ही करती हैं. मोदी की कब्र खुदेगी कहती हैं. मोदी जी को और 10 गालियां दे देते. बीजेपी को 10 गालियां दे देते. But why abuse the जनता? This is the same Janta that in a democracy we consider as Devta. Mahima ji, tell me today that if you are abusing this Janta, don't you want their vote? Don't you want their Samarthan? 23 crore people have voted for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Are you saying everyone is a Rakshas? This is your elitism. कि अगर परिवार और नवाब को वोट नहीं दिया तो आप सभी लोगों को मैं गाली दूंगी. स्वामी विवेकानंद भगवा पहनते तो उनको भी गाली दूंगी.
Okay, both of you have had your opportunity. One second, Tushar Gupta hasn't spoken. Tushar, interestingly, the Congress is talking about ideology and how ideology is above the individual. But I still don't understand the logic as a political party of that ideology becoming, bigger than the voter. You still have to convince the voter of your ideology, and the voter's mind comes before what the party may think. The parties have to adjust according to the voter. It doesn't really happen the other way around. Second is the issue of arrogance. Does this statement smack of desperation, as the BJP says, that they're just not being able to come back to power, so they're condemning the voter that is not choosing them? Or is it about arrogance of the Congress party?
Shivani, it's a bit of both. The Congress is desperate. They know they're not coming back in 24. The projections are against them. The welfare schemes and the promise they made in Karnataka, they haven't been able to fulfill them. Development has reached a standstill. So they are desperate because the country is now watching the Karnataka model. And of course, the arrogance runs in the party. What else explains the remark that Surjewala made after defending his earlier remark? But Shivani, there are 240-odd seats that voted for the BJP in 2014 and 2019. If the Congress has any understanding of politics, and we are to assume they do have, they would not attack the voters. One can understand their problem with certain leaders. One can understand their certain problem with RSS. But one cannot understand or even justify their problem with the voters. Rahul Gandhi says we are running a Mohabbat ki dukaan. And here is Surjewala cursing the voters. He's happily cursing the voters. Why would you curse anyone? And Mahima Singh here says he was carried away by the anguish and anxiety of the people in Haryana. Ma'am, if you're carried away by the anguish and anxiety of the people, you reach out to them empathetically. You reach out to them with love, with compassion. You do not stand on the stage and curse all the voters of the country who did not vote for you, perhaps. So this statement reeks of desperate and arrogance.
Can I also add a different angle to this? Shehzad was right when he invoked Hillary Clinton's very famous or infamous statement, basket of deplorables, to describe anybody who may want to vote for Donald Trump, for example. We all know what happened then. It is never a good idea to condemn the voter. You have to win over the voter by various means, and as you said, by empathetically. But I do want to ask Tushar, is this also not a signal of how polarized our politics has become? That now political parties, and this is not new by the way, anybody associated with the BJP is called names. If it's not Bhakts, it's something else. These are all used in a derogatory fashion, right?
Absolutely.
So political support of one side has become so polarized that now you are condemned one way or the other.
The Congress has developed a habit, Shivani. If you're a BJP supporter or a voter, you're a Bhakt. If you passionately defend them on social media or speak about their welfare programs, the Gau Matra jibe is used.
Yes.
If the leaders they are called names. The institutions are attacked by Rahul Gandhi when he goes abroad. So you're absolutely right. Being a supporter or a voter or a leader of the BJP now evokes very harsh, very condemnable statements from the Congress. And one doesn't understand why, because the Congress needs to run a very compassionate campaign for 2024. All the things they say, whatever Rahul Gandhi says, whatever Bharat Jodo Yatras they do, it all falls flat when their leaders, and these are not some junior
condemn the voters itself. All right, final comments. Shehzad, I want to come to you. Mahima, I'll give you the final word. Shehzad, coming to you. Why is it that this has become new politics in India? Is it because politics has become so polarized and maybe the BJP also will have to take some share of the blame?
Shivani, you have alluded to something very correctly. This is a dehumanization, delegitimization of the complete set of people who evoke certain principles like loving Bharat Mata, loving Gau, loving Sanatan. For that, Congress party dehumanizes them so that violence can be prescribed against them. Look, they have not supported us when there is violence in Paschim Bengal. Rahul Gandhi says, no, it's Mohabbat ki dukaan. And this kind of dehumanization then leads to violence against a set of people where the Congress party then either justifies it or stands with that violence. And therefore the statement is not just a mere statement. It is an indication and a dog whistling towards killing. Because what do you do with Rakshas? You kill the Rakshas. So they are saying kill these people. They are justifying the genocidal call against these people.
Okay. BJP is accused of dog whistling often by the Congress, but you're doing the same, Mahima. So interesting point that has come up, Mahima, is how can you at the same time run a campaign that you are for love, humility and for greater good, but at the same time condemn the very people who are supposed to be receiving this message? It's antithetical to each other.
Shivani, every Indian is at the core of the soul of the Congress, and I think that's what we have shown to the country. And while I don't know what is the compulsion of our respected panelist and what is the compulsion of the channel to call a BJP sympathizer a journalist, I think he should come clean, he should come upfront, call himself a BJP sympathizer, because we all know Swadesh magazine, what do they do? Now you see, there are three relevant
now you're condemning
it is Swaraj, not Swadesh.
Very arrogant.
It is Swaraj.
This is exactly the problem. Now you're condemning someone who works for a publication, and regardless of what their you talked about ideology, but regardless of what their ideology is and what the view of that person is, you have to take it into account. You cannot condemn anybody who doesn't agree with you.
As you allowed the rest of the two panelists, please
I know,
allow me.
but don't make personal comments against the other panelists. I will request you.
Three relevant questions that the Congress, whose soul and heart is every Indian, asks today of the BJP. Why do they endorse bulldozer justice on national television and elsewhere? Why do they give a free hand to their leaders to spread hate and violence? Why do their leaders, why do their MPs and MLAs hold the most criminal record in the country?
Okay.
These are three very valid questions, relevant questions.
All valid questions, except for the fact that if it was restricted to these questions, there was no issue. These questions are raised on a daily basis. But Randeep Surjewala went one step further. As you said, he got carried away or used inappropriate words to describe the voter itself, and that is where the problem arises. I've run out of time. I'll give 30 seconds to Tushar because his name was invoked. Tushar, I'll give you the final 30 seconds, please.
You know, the Congress members should realize it's one's freedom of speech and expression to vote for whatever political party they want to. And even if I'm not a voter of the BJP, I have a problem with the Congress leader cursing the voters of the BJP. It is a problematic statement, ma'am. And you condemning my magazine or you condemning my stance doesn't actually defend your position. It actually further amplifies what we are speaking against here.
All right. Unfortunately, one of our guests, Sumansi Raman, couldn't join us because of some issues. But maybe we'll just have to end it here. I do thank all of our guests for our first debate for joining us. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this fares up for the Congress, especially in Haryana now, which is going to be a key state for them. Time for a very short break. On the other side, there's a storm brewing once again in the state of Tamil Nadu over the NEET exam. 2 suicides have come to light, but the Chief Minister and Governor standoff is also escalating. Why? We'll tell you on the other side.
Simply doing it in order to leave an imprint on our social, cultural, legal and political aspects of the country. That is what their objective is, because the objective behind it is a handful of changes which could have been taken care of by a handful of amendments. Just a handful of amendments would have sufficed. They did not have to entirely change the whole thing, beget a complete criminal overhaul of the criminal justice system, because I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example. If we were to renovate a room in our house, we'll renovate the room. We will not bring down the entire house and start building it from scratch. That is what the Bharatiya Janata Party's government has been doing, simply in order to leave an imprint. And what happens due to this is we waste our time, we waste our energy, we waste our resources, we waste our money and many more things. And due to this, there would be complexities, there would be disruptions. There are so many trials that are happening, tens of thousands. It would beget so much complexity for those trials to be decided upon, and there would be implications to it. So the Bharatiya Janata Party is accustomed, to not consulting with the stakeholders like they did with at the time of farm laws, and then they had to, after wasting a year, they had to take it back.
But
I think history is repeating here. Number three, a very important point. You see, the Bharatiya Janata Party in the last 70 years did not ever raise this issue. They have been in the government from the last 9 years, and if they say this was also wrong, also bad, then why have they been a party to it by not doing anything in the last 9 long years? They have no answers to it. Last but not the least, I just have one thing to say to the Bharatiya Janata Party, that if you really were all about reform, then there would have been a definition of hate speech. There is no definition at all. There are many cases that are being registered. Nothing about it. Number two, there would have been a comprehensive law with regards to custodial tortures that have been happening. Number three, the Honorable Supreme Court has categorically opined against sedition law, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is undermining the Supreme Court, something that they have always done, by strengthening the sedition law that we have in the country.
Well, my views on sedition are well known. I mean, I'm in the minority of people who actually is in favor of retaining this particular law, particularly in this circumstance. But what I want to bring into focus is the duplicity of the government here. Now, the government has been in the forefront defending sedition and said that, okay, as far as this particular aspect is concerned, necessary. And they're undisputed that a certain aspects of which are actually necessary. I'll be in one with the government where that's concerned. But now the government is on defensive and is trying to use this so-called deletion of sedition to justify these three laws. Now, I call it duplicitous because it is not as if that particular provision has been removed altogether and is non-existent.
Okay.
Or that the option the government to deal with seditious activity is no longer there.
Right.
It is there, yes, but in an incarnation which is different. And that incarnation may actually make this particular offence slightly more amorphous than 124A, which had tailored into it rather precise limitations so as to ensure its misapplication to dissent. Sedition was never meant to apply to political dissent
in our country.
There was enough protection in that particular provision to ensure that it does not so extend. The problem with the provision was not the provision but the application.
All right.
And the application is what created this kind of furor.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the manner in which the government is going about its business today shows that while nominally removing it from the section, the intent to misapply the particular provision is as live today as it was then.
I think you have said that in very clear terms. Rajiv Ji, the intent to misapply the provision is as clear, evident and alive as it was earlier. That's what Mr. Aman Lekhi is saying.
No, I completely disagree with my friend, Mr. Lekhi, who is senior in the bar with us. First of all, he is saying that the new system will be considered as a prejudicial system of existing system. What existing system has brought in this country? Pendency of more than 5 crore cases? What I am trying to say, he should clarify what is the issue, what law is brought in all these 3 new acts or bills right now, it is bills, that is prejudicial to the criminal jurisprudence or the system, judicial system. What I am trying to say, all these issues which were being debated in this country like section IPC 377, gone. It is about the Rajdrah, that is gone. Reason, if somebody conspired to overthrow the country or break the country, that will be there. Treason will be there. But Rajdrah is gone. What about the criminal defamation that at least now you can do some community service? Many things has been brought, and the things which was not helping. Like I'll tell you one thing.
Right.
If any crime, one car is attached, that car is lying in a junking. Now all these things I was going through that new Sanhita, in that it is there that all the goods which is attached that can be sold during the trial. The trial has to be completed in a particular time period. So all these three things which are important, if you see, I talked about 377, I talked about the Rajdrah, I talked about the crime against women. You know, crime against women, rape to the kids is not.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Now, a devastating incident of double suicide has been reported from Tamil Nadu. A 19-year-old NEET student aspirant, S. Jagadiswar, died by suicide after he failed the NEET examination. Shockingly, hours after cremating the deceased boy, his father too ended his life, unable to bear the loss of his son. Meanwhile, a political war has erupted in the state, with Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin reiterating that the state government will remove NEET amid rising cases of suicides and urged students not to lose their life in any situation. He further said that the Tamil Nadu government is working and taking legal steps towards removing the NEET exam. But Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi has expressed his opposition to the anti-NEET bill passed by the State Assembly, saying that at least as far as he is concerned, he will never give his assent to this legislation which is required. Take a look at the sequence of events as they have transpired over the last few days. So it is on August 12 that 19-year-old NEET aspirant young boy's suicide came to light. Jagdishwaran's father blamed NEET administration for his son's death. But just a day later, there was a statement made by the Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi saying that he will never clear this anti-NEET bill pushed by the state government. And then what happened? On August 14, that is today, Jagadishwaran's father also died by suicide. Chief Minister Stalin has expressed his condolences. He has also slammed the governor for his statement and stance. DMK has attacked the governor, calling him a rubber stamp, quote unquote, not a new attack, but this is escalating their fight with the current governor. And interestingly, the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has now also announced that he will boycott the governor's Independence Day event at his residence as a mark of protest. The big issue we debate, of course, is this: whether the issue is truly with the NEET exam, because in Tamil Nadu at least it is an issue that comes up repeatedly, or is the issue the politics over it in the state of Tamil Nadu? Kapil Gupta is founder and CEO of NEETprep.com, and also SS Sriram is a political analyst joining us on the show. Let me begin with Kapil Gupta. Kapil, there are about 12.5 instances of suicides that can be attributed to NEET examination in the state of Tamil Nadu alone, and we know the history of the opposition to this examination in the state. There is also parallel issue that is coming up, for example, certain pockets of Rajasthan too. But barring these two states, in fact, have become like the most inflamed situations as far as NEET examination is concerned. Do you consider the exam itself the issue, or do you feel that it is in particular pockets where there are high aspirants and politics over the issue, that's why this is happening?
Thank you for this opportunity. First of all, what has happened is absolutely tragic. I personally believe that it has more to do with the fact that these exams are extremely competitive. They are very harsh on students. 1.5 lakh aspirants write exam in Tamil Nadu every year, and Tamil Nadu has 6,000 government medical college seats, which means 1.44 lakh students are not going to get a seat, irrespective of how good they are. So this reality, first of all, is very tough. This student, Jagdishwaran, had prepared for 2 years, could not get through, and somehow at some point of time, hopelessness set in. Somehow, if we could celebrate the fact that you could, if you don't go to a government medical college, if you don't go to an IIT, you can still make it big in life. That would be very good. Somehow it seems like this becomes bigger than life, and no exam in my mind is worth dying for. That is the first thing
Absolutely.
that I have to say. This is something which has to be communicated through a loudspeaker. Probably when PM is going to speak out tomorrow from Red Fort, he should say that these exams are just exams. You can learn out of them. You can become hardworking out of preparing for them. But Gautam Adani never went to a government medical college. Mukesh Ambani never went to a government medical college. Ratan Tata never went to a government medical
And you
college.
can always change your field. There are setbacks that you face. You may be
Yes.
preparing for a certain exam, but that's
Yes.
not the end of life. You can always change your field or focus on something else. But Kapil, very quickly, before I go to Sriram as well, what I want to understand from you is, why is it that there is such a high instance of suicides in Tamil Nadu alone, along with Rajasthan, if I can quote that? Is eliminating the exam going to mean that these suicides don't take place, and would that then be a worthy goal?
No, so understand this. I've been trying to understand what has been the position of DMK with respect to why they oppose NEET. First, they say it is against underprivileged poor students.
Yes.
As if underprivileged and poor students are only in Tamil Nadu and they're not in Telangana, they're not in Andhra Pradesh, they're not in Karnataka, they're not in Kerala. So that I'm not able to understand. Second thing that they say is it is against the federal structure of the constitution. Again, I don't understand the fact that, answer this question, if 1.5 lakh students appear for NEET, only 6,000 government medical college seats are, how would you give them admission just based on, for example, class 12 score? There also you would have to conduct an exam.
Yes.
I think it would have been a fair position to oppose the exam from the perspective, we prepare students for NEET. We have been doing it for last 6 years. We are an online coaching setup, and exam might be bad for a student from Tamil Nadu because the exam is biased towards NCRT syllabus, which is not something which a lot of students do in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
On that basis, DMK should actually contend that the syllabus should be rationalized so that everyone gets
Everybody
a fair...
from every state is equally given an equal opportunity. S. Sriram, I want to come to you.
should be the logic.
As far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned, there is no denying that no political party is going to take a stance pro-NEET. We've seen that happen in the past. But how do you see this flashpoint between the government and the governor, where the governor is saying very clearly he's not going to give an assent to this bill, and the chief minister is also going hammer and tongs against him? Because this is obviously not going to solve the issue or bode very well for the state. And also, would you say that maybe the governor was a little insensitive on the back of a suicide to say that I'm never going to give assent to this? He could have maybe worded his statement or his opposition to the bill in a different way.
Good evening, Shivani. It's extremely sad that we have lost 2 lives to NEET. But what is more sad and more, quite, I don't know the kind of word I should use, is the politicization of such suicides. I mean, in Tamil Nadu, as Mr. Kapil rightly pointed out, no matter whether you have NEET or whether you don't have NEET, for a 6,000 seats and you have 1.5 lakh students appearing, the same issue could have happened as well. So to use this death for political mileage is extremely saddening. And this government, as for some egoistic reason, are only trying to project this NEET as a villain. And
oh, unfortunately, it looks like I've lost that. Yes, Mr. Sriram is back. Yes.
I have a boy whose parents were laborers from Tamil Nadu, very poor family, has started preparing NEET without going to any NEET coaching from his 11th standard, and he scores a NEET mark of 348, and he is today admitted in Nilgiris Medical College. It has got to do with individuals. It has got nothing to do with NEET. We spend crores on building libraries to have a few lakhs of books. Those 50 crores or 60 crores can be spent on the students for a coaching. We have a national digital library which has got 4.5 crore books. Today, the world is going towards digital. You don't need a structure. You don't need physical books. It's how smart you spend this money to bring these youngsters up the ladder. Here, this is quite agonizing with the way these political parties, which are using it for their personal gains. With regard to your questioning on governor,
yes,
maybe as you rightly said, I agree to your point that the words can be a little more milder, but it's an individual choice for having used such words. But that need not be the case for someone to blame us. We have lost an IPS officer about a month or 2 ago who committed suicide. He's a senior IPS officer for whatever for pressure that work pressure he had.
Okay.
We had a small girl writing a note saying that my father is dying because of alcohol addiction and he is not taking family. Will the state government take note of that and will they lose task?
Okay, fair enough. So instead of criticizing the issue, which is the NEET exam, solutions need to be found. And first and foremost, the message needs to be sent that taking your life is not a solution to anything. And desperation should not set in, whether it's the families or the students and the pupils themselves. I've run out of time. This is a very, very intricate issue that does deserve the state administration to work together with the center, with the governor, and not be antagonistic about it. I leave on that note. My colleague Anand Narasimhan is joining you with the right stand.
Namaste and Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 19th round of Corps Commander level talks that's going on between India and China, and this is at the Chushul-Moldo border. What is happening? What is the current state? This standoff that's been going on till about 3 years, that we are matching them strength to strength, and we are not buckling down, we are not backing down. So this territorial aggression is being met with equal might, and we are perhaps further reinstilling and increasing our